Hello, it has been a long time coming, but I am back with another exhibition tournament. I promised I'd do this one a while back, and to be honest, I kind of forgot about it until now, but here we are. This is going to be the largest tournament I have ever filmed in its entirety, so hopefully this goes well. I did have some issues filming last exhibition tournament if you saw the whole thing through, so what I'm going to do for this one, this is going to be two parts. This first part going to be the round of 32. Second part is going to be a round of 16 all the way to the finale. So, without further ado, this is already probably going to be a long video, even though it's only part one. Let's just get started with the tournament, and let's just take this one quadrant at a time, and let's take a look up at quadrant 1 in the top left corner. Now, headlining this quadrant is going to be semifinalists from the last tournament, Palindrome. Palindrome, of course, lost to Cheerwine Deluxe 3 in the last tournament. I forgot to mention this, but I will be giving full spoilers for the last tournament, so if you haven't seen it, I would recommend to go see it, even though I gave the warning after I already spoiled the tournament, but it's fine, okay. Anyway, as I was saying, Palindrome, previous semi-finalist, and will be going against newcomer to the tournament, White Blow. White Blow is to be honest, is one of the more unique bots that has been made in Battle RC so far. It looks like a whiteboard, but the whiteboard spins. It's a big, powerful vertical spinner. It's a very chaotic robot. Not really sure what's gonna happen when this thing's in the arena. Palindrome, of course, the dual-sided tower vert, wedgelets at the front and back, four-wheel drive. So Palindrome's definitely the favorite, but White Blow can definitely pull off an upset here with how powerful its spinners are, so we'll have to see what happens. Second match is going to be two newcomers to the exhibition tournament. It is going to be Vortex, a four-wheel drive bot, long forks to the front, but of course its most notable features, its horizontal hammer saw. Imagine sort of a blender style spinner. That's what this does. It comes down overhead and the spinner acts like a blender. And of course, going against it will be Skyline, a much more traditional four-wheel drive vertical spinner with its wedgelets. It's chosen the wedgelets for this tournament as they have the best configuration for everything in its quadrant. And going on to the third match will be returning from the last tournament, first round loser Salmon will be going against newcomers to the tournament, Champagne Supernova. Salmon, of course, lost to a very similar bot in Gung Ho in the first round last tournament, so Champagne Supernova is going to be a difficult matchup for us. See if it can pull this off. Champagne Supernova is, of course, a two-wheel drive, huge horizontal disc spinner with some forks at the back, able to deliver some big hits. So I expect it to go pretty far in this tournament, to be honest. And last up for Quadrant 1, it is Stickbug. Of course, another returning round 1 loser from the last tournament. 6-wheel drive, 2 vertical saws at the front, going against Fishin' King. A 4-wheel drive sort of Mecha Rampage style spinner with instead of a bar spinner, it is a disc spinner in the middle. So, really interested to see what happens in this matchup. So, let's get started with Quadrant 1. Of course, like I said, here's Palindrome and here's White Blow. Palindrome is the favorite to move on, but see if White Blow can pull it off and move on to the round of 16. Two bots charging at each other, Palindrome being the best of the first exchange, sending White Blow into the air. White Blow now stuck up on the screws. Oh! Yeah, White Blow stuck inside the screws. Palindrome seemingly tried to hit it out, but White Blow is wedged deep in there, but Palindrome getting a lot of damage on the stuck White Blow, sending a wheel flying off of White Blow. Oh, it's a rough start for White Blow. See if it can get out. Palindrome just content to just keep on hitting it. Palindrome was stuck upside down briefly, but got back over. White Blow is finally out, but it's taking a lot of damage. Let's see if it can recover. Palindrome sending again through the air. White Blow seems to be floundering a bit here. Stuck towards the corner, almost out of the arena. Palindrome again sending it through the air. Oh, Palindrome stuck up against the wall, giving White Blow a chance to pull this match back, sending Palindrome in the air to out of the arena zone. What a comeback from White Blow. I did not see that coming. An impressive comeback by White Blow, taking advantage of Palindrome's driving mistake to knock it out of the arena. One shot is all it needs. Like I said, this is a powerful spinner, so it will be moving on to second round, which I really wasn't expecting. It's Palindrome out. This side of the bracket is definitely shaken up a bit. We'll have to see what happens going forward. After that impressive matchup from White Blow, it will be going against the winner of the next match is Vortex or it is Skyline. So bet these two bots are happy they don't have to go against Palindrome, but they're probably not happy going against White Blow either. But here they are. Okay, Vortex gets the better of first exchange, but Skyline getting around the side briefly, but Vortex once again getting underneath Skyline. Vortex seems to be having steering problems, does seem to be oversteering a bit. Skyline does seem to be more stable, but Vortex able to get the better of a lot of the exchanges, sending Skyline through the air. Horizontal hammer saw working well so far, flipping Skyline over. Oh, sending Skyline flying across the arena into the screws. Vortex doing exactly what it needs to do right now, controlling Skyline, using those forks to its advantage, keeping Skyline up on the screws and doing some damage with the hammer saw, but Skyline now behind Vortex. Vortex does seem to be stuck inside the screws. Skyline trying to take advantage, but one of its wedges does seem to be hung up. Vortex again stuck against the screws, and Skyline seeing itself flying backwards. Now right side up. Oh, Vortex again stuck against the wall. Bad place for it, but Skyline going in. Flipped itself over. Vortex does seem to not be moving on one side. Vortex needs to keep itself square, but it's not doing a good job at doing that. Skyline able to get underneath of it. Two bots just kind of going against each other. Vortex is not having a good time getting stuck against the wall. Seems to be doing that a lot. It should try to get away from the walls as much as it can. Skyline coming in. Two just kind of at a stalemate with each other right now, just pushing back against each other. Their forks and wedgelets very much hung up against each other. Neither of them really able to get much of an advantage right now. Just again kind of pushing against each other, their weapons making contact. Skyline might be having some mobility issues as well, especially now since it ran into the hammer. Oh, but Vortex able to push it back. Then both of them getting tangled against each other. Vortex getting the worst of the exchange though, being sent up against the screws. Skyline sending it through the air. Vortex back on its wheels. Again stuck against the wall though. That seems to be a big problem with Vortex. But now pushing back against Skyline. Oh, Skyline now flipped upside down. Can Vortex take advantage of this? Seems like it's trying to, and Skyline is going through the air. Vortex is still able to use its weapon with half of its drive seemingly MIA. Oh, this is a very, very close match. Either one of them could take it at this point. It's all about who gets the better of the next few exchanges. Skyline's trying to go in to do some damage, but it is very heavily damaged itself the last 10 seconds of this fight. But it doesn't matter as Vortex gets the KO on Skyline with just 8 seconds left. And so Vortex will be taking the win in this back and forth fight. And Vortex will be moving on to the round of 16. That match was a real nail biter. We are off to a fantastic start in this tournament so far. I can't wait to see what the next matches have in store for us. Speaking of the next match, it is going to be Salmon. It is going to be Champagne Supernova. Champagne Supernova, the overwhelming favorite in this match, but that hasn't stopped matches from going ways we didn't expect so far. So anything could happen here. Salmon being aggressive right off the bat, but Champagne Supernova getting right underneath of it. Oh, Salmon with a good charge on Champagne Supernova, but Champagne Supernova able to get underneath of it again. Salmon again under the hammer. Oh, good move by Champagne Supernova, swinging around and hitting the side wheels of Salmon. Salmon not having a fun time with those hammers. He's trying to get away, but oh, Champagne Supernova driving extremely well to snipe the wheels of Salmon and hitting it into the corner, but Champagne Supernova stuck against the wall briefly, but it does get off, thankfully for it. Salmon obviously having a lot of drive issues right now with the wheel gone. Champagne Supernova able just controlling this match. Salmon is trying to get some weapon hits. Oh, another big hit to the side of Salmon, and that is it. Less than a minute into this fight, Champagne Supernova will take the KO victory. A very, very convincing match for it. And Champagne Supernova will be moving on to the round of 16 along with White Blow and Vortex. Champagne Supernova's opponent in the next match will either be Stickbug or it'll be Fishing King. Of course, both Stickbug returning. Fishing King here to prove itself, so I have to see. Stickbug is also out for redemption in the last tournament where it did lose first round, but Fishing King gained the better of the first two exchanges. Stickbug unfortunately stuck against the wall, but Stickbug almost out of the arena but getting off. Stickbug oversteering briefly. The Fishing King seems to be getting the better of all these exchanges right off the bat. And now Stickbug upside down. Its exposed wheels are not doing well for it right now. Stickbug needs to get itself over because when it's upside down, it can't really do a whole lot. Its drive is very hindered. Fishing King is just content to stay underneath of it and just chip away at it. Oh, but that's a big hit, sending Stickbug back against the wall. Stickbug seems to, again, like some of these other bots, seems to have a lot of trouble being stuck against the wall because it was right side up for a second, but it got stuck against the wall. Stickbug now up on the screws. Fishing King content to just let it sit there. Now Stickbug off of the screws. Stickbug having a lot of drive issues, but now getting underneath Fishing King. Can it take advantage of this? Stickbug's doing as much as it can right now, but yeah, Fishing King, when they go head on, he gets better at the exchanges, but Stickbug getting another hit there and getting another big hit on Fishing King, sending it through the air. Oh, a big hit by both. Stickbug needs to drive this carefully, but it is not driving carefully at all. It's still driving very recklessly, driving itself into the wall and then into the screws. Fishing King getting a couple of big hits. Now underneath Stickbug again. Stickbug sent to the other end of the arena. Again, upside down. It really doesn't want to be here. Oh, a massive hit by Fishing King, sending Stickbug into the screws. A big flurry there by Fishing King. And that is going to be it. Fishing King does take this match by KO. And it will be moving on to the round of 16, where it will fight Champagne Supernova in the next round. So, we'll be going back to the bracket. Once Fishing King is declared the winner, we'll be going back to the bracket to discuss Quadrant 2. Here we are back at the bracket. And of course, we have our four winners from Quadrant 1, White Blow, Vortex, Champagne Supernova, and Fishing King, all moving on to the round of 16. But next, let's look over at Quadrant 2 in the top right corner. We have headlining this quadrant, another semifinalist from last tournament in Gung Ho, losing in the semifinals to eventual bracket winner Disco Ducky, and one of the bigger upsets of the last tournament. Gung Ho here to prove itself, but it is in a very stacked bracket this time around, so it has its work cut out for it, including its first round match against Death by Committee. Death by Committee has a scoop up front, a lifter, and a big hammer. Gung Ho is definitely favored to win this fight, but Death by Committee is definitely one to watch out for. Speaking of ones to watch out for, next up is Quake versus Drunk Uncle 2. Drunk Uncle 2 is a returning quarterfinalist from last tournament, a tombstone style design, a tried and true design. Of course, a very, very powerful spinner, but going against it is Quake, and Quake is another bot to watch out for in this tournament. Quake is very good. This version of Quake specifically is very good against horizontal spinners, and it has two horizontal spinners in its next two matchups, assuming Gung Ho wins. So Quake might be going far in this tournament if things go its way, but Drunk Uncle 2 is very powerful, so it can't be complacent at all. And more hard-hitting bots in the third match of Quadrant 2. It is double time. It is Symbol Rush remix. This is the correct Symbol Rush this time. I promise. I checked. Double time, another favorite to go far. A shuffle bot with two very powerful egg beaters at front. Symbol Rush remix is a four-wheel drive undercutter disc spinner, this being the version with forks, so which will be the best for it in its upcoming matchups, assuming all things go well for it. So this might be the matchup of the round of 32. this might be the one to watch out for, to be honest. So I'm very excited to see what happens. So that's some very exciting matchups so far, but I think this might be the matchup of this round. And next up, we have another very favored vertical spinner. This is not a horizontal spinner. It's Silver Fork's Debilitator. This is a bot that is well known for its long forks, keeping its opponents at a distance. And in its first round, will be going against Armored Core, a compact four-wheel drive drum spinner. So Silver Fork Debilitator, definitely, again, the favorite to win this match and the favorite to do well, but Armored Core is a tenacious little bot, so we'll have to see what happens here. So, without further ado, let's get started with Quadrant 2 in our first match. Gung Ho and Death by Committee. Gung Ho, of course, the powerful two-wheel drive horizontal disc spinner. Death by Committee, four-wheel drive scoop with lifter and a hammer. Gung Ho getting underneath Death by Committee on the first exchange. I really wasn't expecting that. Oh, and that initial exchange seems to have already damaged Death by Committee's drive. It's not really driving well, but Gung Ho is not really driving well either. It's kind of all over the place right now. Gung Ho needs to square itself up and be careful here, because if it can continue driving well, it has this match in the bag. It just knocked a wheel off of Death by Committee. Oh, a big hit by Gung Ho, sending Death by Committee back into the screws. Oh, Gung Ho taking a lot of damage from the arena, though. It really has to be careful here. But sending a big hit on Death by Committee back into the wall. Death by Committee stuck on its own wheel briefly. But Gung Ho it's not being careful. It's still driving extremely recklessly. It's letting itself get hit by Death by Committee's hammer. It can't be doing this because it's taking a lot of damage from these exchanges. But speaking of a lot of damage, it sends Death by Committee back. Gung Ho is not driving this match well at all. It's against a very immobile opponent. But Death by Committee still able to get big hits on. And Gung Ho damaging itself a lot on the arena. Like Death by Committee just getting a big hammer hit right there. Oh, Death by Committee now stuck up on the saw briefly. Gung Ho coming in for some more hits. It does seem to be driving a little better now, but it might have already taken too much damage. And oh, Death by Committee upside down briefly, but self-rights. Although its drive is heavily damaged, it is still moving enough to not be counted out. It doesn't seem to be turning well at all. All it seems to be doing is moving forwards and backwards, which is seemingly all it needs right now. Is despite how things look, it is winning this match against Gung Ho on damage so far, but that might change as Gung Ho gets a massive hit on Death by Committee, sending it through the air. And now Death by Committee is very crippled at this point, not really able to do much, but still technically mobile, I think. The Gung Ho damaging itself some more, and Gung Ho practically eliminating itself right there, allowing Death by Committee, who was pretty much barely moving, to move on to the round of 16. That was a very lucky break for Death by Committee, but they'll definitely take that lucky break as they move on to the next round. And another semifinalist, the other semifinalist from last tournament, has been eliminated in round 1. This is definitely the tournament of the newcomers right now. Almost all of the newcomers have moved on, so we're going to be seeing some new faces going far. I'm not against that at all. So anyway, let's just go on to the next match. Of course, that next match is going to be Quake, and it is going to be Drunk Uncle 2. Drunk Uncle 2, despite being more experienced, is arguably the least favored in this fight. Quake is well known for taking on horizontals, like I mentioned before, so it might have its work cut out for it, and we're seeing that immediately. Quake just able to just keep itself underneath Drunk Uncle, not really letting it get a good angle so far. Drunk Uncle looking for the angle, it does get a good hit, but again, sending itself flying in the process. Both bots taking some shots from the hammer. Drunk Uncle trying to get some hits around the side and the back of Quake. You can see it trying to swing around, like horizontal spinners of the style often tried to do. This is a massive hit by Drunk Uncle 2, sending Quake up towards the hammer, and Quake might be stuck. Drunk Uncle 2 might have just won this fight. But from a massive hit, yeah, Quake is definitely stuck up there. Drunk Uncle 2, it looks like it will be moving on by TKO, and it is. This Drunk Uncle 2's spinner, really nothing to mess with. I think I definitely had something to prove in this fight. Definitely, even though it's more experienced competitor, it's definitely the underdog here, but it has taken this match pretty quickly, getting a hit on Quake's wheel and sending it up towards the hammer and getting it stuck up there. And this is honestly, this is another upset in this quadrant. This tournament has been crazy so far, and well, there's even more to come, so can't wait to see. We're only in quadrant 2. Not even done with quadrant 2, only halfway done through quadrant 2. And this next matchup, I'm really looking forward to this one. It is double time. It is Cymbal Rush. Oh, this is going to be a good matchup no matter who wins. There's going to be some big hits. There's going to be some good control. Double time's a big hitter. Cymbal Rush, not really as much of a big hitter, but it's able to just grind away at opponents. So, Double time's probably favored here, but you definitely don't count Cymbal Rush out. Both of them pretty good favorites to do well if things go their way, but they have to go through each other first. So, let's see what happens. Both bots charging at each other. Cymbal Rush getting the better ground clearance right off the bat. Able to just kind of sit underneath Double Time and control it. Double Time going up back towards the saws, but Double Time able to get underneath Cymbal Rush now. Cymbal Rush now getting underneath Double Time, pushing it back into the screws. Cymbal Rush now underneath Double Time, just grinding on the underneath of it. But those egg beaters of Double Time doing damage to Cymbal Rush when Cymbal Rush is underneath of it. Cymbal Rush pushing Double Time back towards the saw. Cymbal Rush, big hit by Double Time. As I was about to say, Cymbal Rush doesn't really seem to be confident in his pushes against Double Time, and that seems to be fighting it here. It's just driving underneath it and driving back out. And now it seems to be stuck against the wall, which is very unfortunate for us. Double Time seems to just be content leaving it there to be counted out, and it will. And Double Time will be moving on. It's a good start by Cymbal Rush, but its hesitancy got the better of it, and Double Time's able to take advantage and throw it back into the wall and take the TKO win. So yeah, Double Time, again, a big favorite in this quadrant and tournament as a whole, to be honest. So it is taking its first win, not handily, I'd say, but it definitely took it quickly, and it shows why it is a favorite because of how big of a hitter it is. Of course, last match of Quadrant 2, it will be Silver Fork Debilitator, and it will be Armored Core. Two bots that are, well, both vertical spinners, but very different in design. Armored Core, of course, the more compact design, the drum spinner. Silver Fork Debilitator has the wedge with the long forks and the disc spinner. So, Silver Fork Debilitator, again, a favorite, but many upsets have happened so far. And can Armored Core pull off a big upset? We'll see. Oh, Silver Fork Debilitator getting the better of the first exchange, getting underneath Armored Core. Now, Armored Core grinding against the forks a bit of Silver Fork Debilitator. Silver Fork Debilitator getting out, going around the side and getting a big hit on Armored Core's wheel. The Armored Core coming back in, those forks proving their worth, able to keep Armored Core at a distance. Armored Core kind of grinding against the forks, not really able to do much. Silver Fork Debilitator coming in with a big hit, sending it into the ceiling. Yeah, those forks are, again, are doing really well for it so far. Just able to keep Armored Core at a distance and just get big hits on it. Just key it up when it needs to. Get those big hits, sending it through the air. And now Armored Core, both of them in the corner. Silver Fork Debilitator getting hit by the hammer a bit. Armored Core again kind of not really able to get a good angle in Silver Fork Debilitator. Just kind of, again, grinding against those forks and not really, getting good contact on it. Silver Fork Debilitator in very clear control of this fight. Armored Core not moving very well right now. Definitely those massive hits from Silver Fork Debilitator did some big damage to it. very evidently has got some massive hits around the side and the back, so it's not very surprising to see such a compact bot taking a lot of damage from that. Silver Fort Debilitator again pushing against Armored Core. Doesn't really seem to have the power to get a big hit on it to really push it far up bot where it gets hit by the vertical disc spinner, but doesn't really need it right now. It's in full control this fight, and if things keep going for it like this, even if it doesn't KO Armored Core, it still... Oh, okay, well, I say that, but okay. Armored Core was not immobilized, but very clearly the two bots were stuck together, so if the bots are stuck together, this will be going to a judge's decision, but I don't think this is a very difficult judge's decision at all. I think it's quite obvious who won this fight, and yeah, Silver Fort Debilitator is the clear winner of this fight. Oh, excuse me. Silver Fort Debilitator is the clear winner of this fight, and will be moving on. There we go. And that will do it for Quadrant 2. Let's head on back to the bracket. Here we are back in the bracket. Half of our round of 32 matches are now done, and half of our round of 16 spots are filled. Of course, our round of 16 competitors so far are White Blow, Vortex, Champagne Supernova, and Fishing King from Quadrant 1, and Death by Committee, Drunk Uncle 2, Double Time, and Silver Fork Debilitator from Quadrant 2. So, let's move on down to Quadrant 3 now, bottom right corner. So, this is the quadrant of the spinner versus flipper matches. All 4 of the Quadrant 3 matches have a spinner going against a flipper, so that's pretty neat, I'd say. And the first match headlining this quadrant is going to be quarterfinalist from last tournament, Aeon Disc. It was a favorite last time and undoubtedly a favorite this time. It's a compact, low to the ground, horizontal disc spinner with a lot of power behind its disc, but going against it is Proto-Digit. It is a 2-wheel drive flipper, of course, and it's not a traditional wedge flipper, but it does have that sort of design philosophy to just get flipping panel underneath and get some big flips in, and that's what it'll be hoping to do against Aeon Disc. And in the next match is Bloodbath, a 2-wheel drive sort of Tombstone-esque design with a small bar spinner, a very thick spinner. It's able to get some big hits if it gets the right angles, but going against it in round 1 will be probably one of the favorites of this quadrant, and probably a favorite to go very far, and that is Void Monster. Void Monster is an 8-wheel drive sort of Hydra-styled flipper is the closest comparison I can make to it. Its flipper is very powerful, the bot is very fast and low to the ground at the front, so it's definitely going to be an uphill battle for Bloodbath, but Void Monster does take a lot of damage from spinners, so that's its biggest downside. So maybe Bloodbath definitely has a chance here to get some big damage on Void Monster. And in the third match, Quadrant 3, it will be Blizzard, another 2-wheel drive horizontal bar spinner. This one different than Bloodbath, of course. It instead of a Tombstone style spinner, it's definitely different from that sort of design, but it follows the same sort of design philosophy, let's just say. Going against it will be a more traditional wedge flipper in Spider 2.4's. Spider making its debut in this tournament, although it's a very experienced competitor. Going against Blizzard, of course, lost in round 1 to Palindrome in last tournament, so we'll have to see how these two do. This is definitely a pretty open match. I'm pretty curious to see what happens with these two. And finally, in the last match of Quadrant 3, it is actually a rematch from last tournament. It is Gearhead and his Rad Wedge 2. Of course, Gearhead beat Rad Wedge in the first round of the last tournament, but Rad Wedge has now come back. It has a flipper now. It's hoping to flip Gearhead through the air. Gearhead, though, was aiming to repeat its last match and move on to the next round. Gearhead, of course, a quarterfinalist from last tournament, hoping to have a repeat performance here. So, let's get into the fights with the first fight. Aeon Disc and Proto-Digit. Aeon Disc definitely the favorite of this match, and arguably of this bracket, this quadrant as a whole, excuse me. but it has a rough path ahead of it with a lot of spinners and flippers around it, and immediately Proto Digit getting a big flip on Aeon Disc. But oh, another big flip. I was about to say it fired early a little bit, but a bit of a smaller flip there. Oh, Aeon Disc sent flying through the air. Proto Digit in control of the fight so far. Although Aeon Disc doing a lot of damage. Proto Digit firing its flipper early a couple times, doing it once again. Oh, now Aeon Disc getting underneath it briefly, but not really able to do much. Oh, Aeon Disc stuck against the wall briefly, bouncing off. The Proto Digit flipped itself over, but again, getting back over quickly. Proto Digit seems to be a little too fast for its own good, just kind of spinning in place, looking to get it flipped, but it gets another big flip on Aeon Disc. It's a little eager to fire its flipper too. It's a big problem for it. Aeon Disc is a lot more slow and controlled. We'll see if that takes it to advantage. A big flip by Proto Digit, sending Aeon Disc into the ceiling. Oh. Proto Digit, getting another big flip on Aeon Disc. Aeon Disc taking a lot of damage from these falls. You can see around the side of it, the wheels, which are normally blocked, are now exposed. Proto Digit flipping itself over, but flipping itself back, getting a couple more smaller flips on Aeon Disc. Oh, and getting another big flip, sending it back towards the corner. Aeon Disc not getting some decent hits, but not really comparing to the big flips that Proto Digit has been getting. Oh, I want a bit of a smaller flip. Still, the two are somewhat close on damage. Proto Digit is winning from those big flips, but anything could happen. Another big flip by Proto Digit. Bit of a miss flip there. Another bit of a miss flip. Both the bots down in the corner. Proto Digit with another flip and another flip. That was a forceful flip, sending Aeon Disc into the wall now. Oh, both of them seem to be stuck for a second, but Proto Digit getting itself free, flipping Aeon Disc off the screws, getting another big flip on Aeon Disc. Oh, Proto Digit in control despite so far, but a big hit by Aeon Disc, sending Proto Digit back towards the wall. Can Aeon Digit... Oh, Aeon Disc getting some big hits. A Proto Digit now, half of Proto Digit's drive seems to be immobilized from those flurries of hits, and Aeon Disc might be coming back in this fight. But a big flip by Proto Digit, sending Aeon Disc through the air. Oh, Proto Digit firing its flipper way too early and doing it once again, but getting a good flip there. Getting another good flip. Oh, but Proto Digit exposing its back to Aeon Disc, and Aeon Disc taking advantage. Oh, Proto Digit now stuck up by the hammer. Can it get off? I'm not sure if it can get off right now. Yeah, it might be stuck, but it is not being counted out, but it doesn't matter. There's only 10 seconds left in this fight, and this is going to be a very, very rough match to judge. I was hoping there wasn't going to be a tough judge's decision, but yeah, this is definitely going to be a tough one. This is a very back and forth fight. I'm really gonna have to think about this one. So let's just cut back to me when I have a sure decision. Alright, after some deliberation with myself, I have come to a decision. So, I never really mentioned it before, but the judging criteria I use is damage, control, and aggression, all judged on an equal scale. So, for my decision, I gave Aeon Disc the slight edge in damage, 3-2. I gave Proto Digit the edge in control, 3-2. And I give the edge in aggression to the winner, Aeon Disc. Aeon Disc will be moving on to the round of 16, and by far the closest judge's decision I have had so far. I do believe Aeon Disc does take this fight in control and aggression, as it was, although Proto Digit got the bigger flips and more visually impressive hits of the fight, Aeon Disc was the one initiating a lot of those exchanges. So I think that, to me, plus the fact that Proto Digit did get stuck at the end, I think that gives Aeon Disc the win and the spot in the round of 16. Bracket 3 has just, excuse me, not Bracket 3. I'm getting bracket and quadrant confused a lot. Quadrant 3 has just started. We've already had an exciting match to start. let's move on to the next match. I can't wait to see how this one goes. Of course, in said next match, it is Bloodbath and it is Void Monster. Void Monster, again, a big favorite to go far in this bracket and in this quadrant as a whole, honestly. But he'll have to go through Bloodbath first. Bloodbath, big horizontal spinner. Not so big in terms of the size of spinner, but big in terms of the hits it can deliver. Void Monster does take a lot of damage from spinners, so it's going to have to be careful here. And there's Bloodbath. On the other side of the ring is Void Monster. Let them fight. Oh, Void Monster with an immediate massive flip on Bloodbath. Again, following it up quickly. Doesn't want to give Bloodbath much space to spin up his weapon, but it does so. Anyway, Void Monster getting hit by the hammer, but getting another flip on Bloodbath. Bloodbath in the corner. Void Monster, it might have some drive problems right now, but oh, Bloodbath driving up on top of it and getting flipped in the air. Yeah, Void Monster definitely looks like it might have some driving issues, but oh, definitely good enough to send Bloodbath into the air and up towards the hammer. Bloodbath getting another hit by the hammer. Bloodbath getting some decent hits on Void Monster. Void Monster getting the big flips. Oh, the flipper and spinner locking, sending both into the air. The Void Monster stuck near the screws, almost stuck up on the screws, but getting a big hit on Bloodbath, sending it through the air, getting another decent flip on Bloodbath. Oh, both of them are kind of stuck up on the wall. Bloodbath getting off first, getting some hits on Void Monster, but Void Monster retaliating and getting a big hit on Bloodbath, sending it through the air. Void Monster bringing Bloodbath towards the corner, almost out of the arena, but not quite. Bloodbath bounces in. Void Monster in control despite so far. It looked a bit scary for it earlier, but it does seem to be solidly in control. Oh! The flipper interlocking with the body of... Oh! That was weird. Oh, that was definitely a glitch. That was a very unfortunate glitch for Void Monster, but it was stuck up on the wall briefly, but it does seem to be back in the arena now. Now both of them just kind of stuck on each other. Void Monster still seemingly able to move, but driving directly into the wall. Bloodbath might be back in this fight now. Oh, Void Monster not driving well at all. And Bloodbath able to get some big hits on it. Void Monster needs to get it together, or Bloodbath might take this fight. It's definitely lost some wheels, but it does seem to be in control enough to drive, but it is just driving very poorly right now. The Bloodbath with a big hit on it. Oh, Bloodbath needs to choose hits carefully. It does seem to be trying to do so, but Void Monster getting a big flip, sending Bloodbath back. If he gets one big flip, that's probably it for Bloodbath, but Bloodbath only needs a few big hits to take this fight. Oh, but that hammer hit immobilizes Bloodbath. This is a very close match, a lot closer match than I was expecting. Void Monster will sneak its way into the round of 16, where it will go against Aeon Disc in the next round. Considering how this fight against the horizontal went for it, this Aeon Disc might need to watch out for Aeon Disc in the next round. But of course, Aeon Disc just took out another flipper, but Void Monster does solidly move on to the round of 16, although this match was very, very close. It's going to have another rough match the next round. But before that, let's move on to the third match of Quadrant 3. Quadrant 3 has been very exciting so far, and I hope this match keeps up the theme, and it will be Blizzard and it will be Spider 2.4, which I will shorten to Spider from now on, because that's easier to say. There is Blizzard, the big horizontal bar spinner. On the other side of the arena is Spider, the more traditional wedge flipper. And Spider getting a flip on Blizzard immediately. Blizzard driving up the wedge, but Blizzard hitting the side of Spider briefly, but Spider getting another big flip, sending Blizzard into the air. Blizzard getting some hits around the side of Spider, getting getting some more smaller hits. Oh, a bigger hit, sending Spider back. Oh, Spider firing its flipper preemptively and missing, allowing Blizzard to come in with a good hit. Blizzard getting some good hits around the side. That was a big hit by Blizzard, sending Spider up towards the hammer, up in the area towards the hammer. You don't want to be up there. Lots have gotten stuck there, but Spider is now off, now trying to self-right. Oh! Alright, I'm back with the Blizzard and Spider match. We're gonna try this again because I'm not accepting a match where Spider falls through the floor, so we're gonna give this another whirl. Hopefully this match goes a lot better than the last one. Hopefully this is just a clean, fair fight. Of course, they have Blizzard against Spider, the two charging into each other. Oh, Spider getting a good hit on Blizzard right off the bat. Blizzard swinging around trying to get a good hit. Oh, Spider mistiming its flip, so Blizzard getting some good hits on it. Blizzard spinner does I was about to say, does seem to have some problems getting up to full speed, but not really now. And getting some good hits on Spider, sending Spider back. Oh, but Blizzard running into the screw, seeing itself flying into Spider, ironically doing damage to Spider, but Spider responding with a big flip, but Blizzard again responding with a big hit, sending Spider across the arena. Spider is stuck on the wall, but Blizzard going in for more. Wants to immobilize it by KO, doesn't want to leave it up on the wall, and there goes Spider across the wall and out of the arena. A big hit by Blizzard, sending Spider all the way across the arena and into the Uda zone. Very unlucky for Spider, but Blizzard will take the win and will take the round of 16 position, outdoing its performance in the last tournament. And Blizzard looks very powerful, so it might be a bit of a dark horse in this quadrant. We'll have to see, but anyway, it is taking the third round of 16 spot in Quadrant 3. Unfortunately for Spider. And here we are, the last match of Quadrant 3. It is Gearhead versus Radwedge 2. Again, this is a rematch from last tournament. Radwedge has been upgraded since last tournament. Gearhead hasn't been touched. So, I've seen the result remains the same. Radwedge hoping to vastly improve on its performance last tournament, as it was arguably winning against Gearhead, but Gearhead got stuck up against the wall and took the win. So Radwedge is going to remember that. It is out for vengeance, and Gearhead out to relive its performance from last tournament and move on to the second round cleanly. So let's see what happens in the only rematch of this tournament so far. Let's go, or only rematch of this tournament series, I should say. And here they go, the two charging into each other. Oh, Radwedge mistiming its flip. But now getting under Gearhead, flipping it into the air. Gearhead grinding against Radwedge with the spinner on the other side. Radwedge getting a decent flip on Gearhead, getting another flip on Gearhead, sending Gearhead into the corner. Radwedge in control of the fight so far, but getting another decent hit on Gearhead. Gearhead being aggressive, trying to get around the side of Radwedge, even though it's upside down, but Radwedge flipping Gearhead up into the screws. Oh, Gearhead seemingly trying to get to the side of Radwedge. Oh, both of them seem to be stuck at the moment. If they don't free themselves, I will restart this match since it has been less than a minute. Okay, yes, I will restart this match because if you didn't see last tournament, I will restart a match if two bots get stuck together at the same time within the first minute of the fight, and that is exactly what happened here. So we're going to try this again. And here we are, attempt 2 of Gearhead and Radwedge 2. I've had several fights in this bracket take more than one attempt. Hopefully that's not a recurring theme. But anyway, match starts similarly to the last one. Radwedge coming in, getting a flip on Gearhead, getting another good flip on Gearhead. Radwedge now pushing against the side of Gearhead. Gearhead being flipped in the corner and under the hammer, hit by the hammer onto Gearhead. Radwedge getting another flip on Gearhead. Both of them in the corner. Oh, Radwedge missing its flip on Gearhead, getting an okay flip on Gearhead, kind of flicking it back over, but now go to hit flip on Gearhead, getting it back into the screws. Gearhead, trying to get around the side. Okay, thankfully they aren't stuck in the same way as last time, but Gearhead now getting underneath Radwedge 2. How much damage can it get to Radwedge 2 right now? Radwedge taking a lot of damage, but good hit by Gearhead, sending Radwedge over, and this fight seems to have turned in Gearhead's favor. Gearhead getting some good hits on Radwedge 2. Now Radwedge 2 is up towards the hammer. Can it get out from there? That is what we were wondering. It looks like it can. Oh, is it stuck again? It might be stuck, but Gearhead coming in to get some more hits on it. This fight has definitely turned in Gearhead's favor. It definitely looked like it was Radwedge's fight right off the start, but Gearhead is now in control of this fight, flipping over Radwedge 2 and controlling around the arena, doing a lot of damage to it. Now Radwedge is back over. Can it take control of this fight? Oh, it does seem to be taking control of the fight. flipping Gearhead over immediately, but Rad Wedge coming in for another big hit, flipping over Gearhead. Rad Wedge wants to take control of this fight after lost control briefly, but two bots kind of having trouble driving towards in the corner, but Rad Wedge getting a flurry of good flips on Gearhead, getting a really good flip, sending Gearhead towards the corner. Gearhead near the sidewall, but Rad Wedge flipping it back towards the screws. This has been a tale of two halves so far, and who will take the last third of the fight? Rad Wedge now in control of Gearhead. 1 minute left in the fight approximately. Now Gearhead just kind of grinding into Rad Wedge while upside down. Oh, but wait a minute, I didn't even notice the damage. Rad Wedge is immobilizing Gearhead. Will take the KO victory. Vengeance has not been served by Rad Wedge. Gearhead, again, reliving its performance from last tournament, and Gearhead will be moving on to the round of 16, and Rad Wedge unfortunately loses in the first round again. Very unfortunate for it, but Gearhead performed a lot better in this fight than I thought it would. Honestly, after last tournament and the improvements to Rad Wedge, I thought Rad Wedge had it in the bag, honestly, but Gearhead, it played this fight well, it did damage where it could, and got control where it could, and it will be moving on, and it will be taking the last round of 16 spot in Quadrant 3. So, let's head back to the bracket and take a look at the last quadrant for the round of 32, Quadrant 4. And we'll see our last 4 competitors moving on. Hey, I guess it wouldn't be an episode without issues with the recording, because I just finished recording, or at least I thought I finished recording footage for Quadrant 4, but unfortunately, the recording glitched out and it stopped about a minute after recording started. I didn't notice until I had already finished, so it's really unfortunate. I don't want to restart the entire tournament, so what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to record each of the 4 matches in Quadrant 4 in the normal fight mode, and then I'm going to go back to the bracket and discuss the results once we're finished. I'm just going to do the fights until the result is the same of what happened in the tournament. So let's just get going. Of course, the first matchup of Quadrant 4 will be the quarterfinalists from last time, Mariana, and it will be going against Boost. Mariana, of course, 2-wheel drive spinner with 2 large horizontal saws, can dish out a lot of damage, but on the other side is Boost, a 4-wheel drive overhead spinner, more traditional design, but it can dish out some massive hits. So Mariana might be the favorite going in, but you should definitely look out for Boost in this fight. So let's go and get into the arena and see who wins. Quadrant 4 is a very open quadrant, so whatever one of these bots wins will have a big opportunity in the round of 16. There's no real favorites in this quadrant of the bracket, unlike all the other quadrants. So this is a big opportunity quadrant for these bots, and Boost getting the better of the first few exchanges, sending Mariana flying. Mariana seems to be oversteering a lot. Oh, a big hit, sending both flying backwards. Mariana just kind of pressing up against Boost. That's kind of what it wants to do. It kind of just wants to grind against Boost with its saws. But Boost getting the better of most of these exchanges, sending Mariana backwards. Mariana's oversteering is really becoming a problem for the sturdy, well-controlled Boost, able to just hit it around the... Oh. I don't know what that was. But, yeah, I'm restarting that. Okay, this recording's been a nightmare. Anyway. Here is Mariana and here is Boost. Both of the bots charging against each other. Boost getting the better of the first exchange, getting under Boost briefly. Mariana getting under Boost briefly, but Boost sending Mariana back into the saws. Excuse me, this recording is really getting to me. Boost up on the saws briefly, but Mariana charging in, trying to get some damage on Boost. Boost sending Mariana back again. Oh, Mariana going into the wall. Boost charging in on Mariana. Mariana pushing Boost back against the wall. Boost stuck up on the wall. Mariana getting a lot of damage in on Boost, but Boost also getting a lot of damage on Mariana. The two spinners spinning against each other. Oh, Boost with the big hit on the side of Mariana, and another big hit sending Mariana out of the arena, and that is it. Boost will take the out of the arena victory. Boost will be moving on to the round of 16. Boost did a very good job in that fight, staying controlled and getting big hits on Mariana when it could. A very impressive bot. We'll have to see what it does in the round of 16. It will be, of course, be going against the bots in our next fight. And here we are with the next matchup of Quadrant 4. It is Furpect and it is Discord, two returning competitors from the last bracket. Both of them lost in round 1. And so both of them have something to prove here. They both want to prove that they have what it takes to go far in the tournament. And they're standing in each other's way now. Both have I was going to say they're similar, but they're not really. Both of them, the only thing they share in common is that they're vertical spinners. But Furpect is a 2-wheel drive drum spinner, and Discord is a 4-wheel drive disc spinner, hence the name. Discord has a much lower to ground design, but Furpect does have the bigger spinner, so we're going to have to see what happens here in the arena when these two spinners go against each other. Of course, the winner of this fight will fight Boost in the round of 16, who just won our last fight. Both of these bots would not mind fighting Boost, would not mind fighting Boost because, they're big vertical spinners. They usually do well against overhead horizontals, but they have to go through each other first. And Furpect got the better of the first exchange, but Discord pushed Furpect back into the wall, getting underneath Furpect. Not really getting any big hits yet until then, sending Furpect into the corner towards the hammer. Discord now getting the better of the exchanges, pushing Furpect across the arena, getting a big hit on Furpect, sending it through the air, getting another big hit on Furpect, trying to line Furpect to try to get out of the arena perhaps. Oh, but Furpect misses. Discord going in for another series of hits, sending Furpect through the air, sending Furpect back towards the corner. Oh, up towards the hammer. Furpect might be stuck now. It does appear that it is stuck. Oh, it's not actually stuck. It was Discord freed it. Discord going in for more hits on Furpect, but Furpect does appear to be stuck. Discord seemingly trying to get it stuck against the wall, but Furpect getting free from Discord's pushes, but Discord immediately retaliating, throwing it through the air. Discord always able to get the better of exchanges past that first exchange, just constantly getting underneath Furpect and sending it through the air. And now it looks like Furpect is out of the arena, and it is, even though it bounced back in, it was out of the arena long enough for it to be considered eliminated. And so, Discord will take the win by out of the arena and will be moving on to the round of 16. Discord, very impressive. Past the first exchange, just completely dominated Furpect, and I'm really curious to see how it will do against Boost in the round of 16. As I mentioned at the start of this fight, it is a match I'd argue Discord might be favored in. It is, of course, a 4-wheel drive vertical spinner with a powerful spinner, a wedge up front. But Boost is no joke in itself. So we'll have to see what happens. But first, we should, of course, move on to our next match of the round of 32. Here we are in the penultimate match of the round of 32. In Quadrant 4, we have Cloud9 and we have Graviator. Cloud9, of course, returning from the previous tournament, where it lost in the first round to eventual finalist Cheerwine Deluxe 3. So it definitely has something to prove this time against a big bot in Graviator. Graviator is a grabber vertical spinner with the flamethrower at front. It's a big bot. It can get control of fights very easily, but Cloud9 is a lot more nimble, and Graviator is slow on turning, so I still give Cloud9 the slight edge, but Graviator is more than capable of winning this fight. So this is another pretty open fight in a pretty open quadrant, so let's get into the arena and see what happens. There's Cloud9 hoping to punch his ticket to the round of 16. But it has to be Graviator first. Graviator looking to do the same. Graviator getting underneath Cloud9 immediately. Bringing down its grabber. Firing its flamethrower on Cloud9. The two locked with each other. Both their spinners grinding against each other. Graviator seeming to get the better of exchange. Until then, Cloud9 flips it back. Cloud9 getting around to the side of Graviator, sending it through the air, but Cloud9 flipping itself over in the process. Graviator trying to self-revive. Cloud9 gets itself over. Cloud9 pushing Graviator towards the wall, trying to get it out of the arena, but Cloud9 flips itself over in the process. Graviator back over. It seems to be having some movement issues though. Oh, until then, where it charges Cloud9, but it accidentally drives itself up onto the screws. Cloud9 coming in from the side, although it's upside down, so the spinner isn't getting the bite that it wants. Graviator's flamethrower does appear to be out of fuel at this point, so it's not really using it anymore, so it's just using its grabber vertical spinner. But Cloud9 again trying to get around the side. Cloud9 needs to get itself back over, and it does. On a big hit on the side of Graviator by Cloud9. Cloud9 pushing Graviator into the screws. Cloud9 regaining a bit of control. Graviator up on the wall towards the hammer. Oh, a massive hit by Cloud9 sending Graviator through the air. Graviator upside down needs to self-right. But Cloud9 pushing it back towards the arena wall. Get another big hit on it, sends Graviator into the air up against the wall. Cloud9 pinning it briefly before getting a few more hits on Graviator, sending Graviator through the air. Graviator landing back down. Cloud9 might be stuck against the wall. It does appear to be so. Oh, never mind. Cloud9 gets free. Going back in on Graviator to get more hits. Cloud9 seems a lot more stable now than it did earlier in the fight. It's not really flipping itself over anymore, which is very good for it. It's juggling around Graviator. Graviator really struggling to get anything going at this point after a great start to the fight. Oh, but Cloud9 flipped itself over. This might be a chance for Graviator. Here comes Graviator. But not... Oh, but it's... Oh, but Spinner seems to be very off balance. It's not really able to drive that well. Yeah, Spinner's bouncing all around. Its Spinner is definitely very out of balance right now. Cloud9 needs to take advantage of this. Graviator is a pretty vulnerable position. It doesn't seem to be driving well. Its Spinner is off balance. And here comes Cloud9 around the side, getting a little pop on Graviator, sending it into the air. But now Cloud9 pushing Graviator against the screws, getting another small hit on Graviator, sending it through the air. 30 seconds left in this fight. And here comes Cloud9 with another big hit, pushing back Graviator. Graviator again sent through the air by Cloud9. If this does go to the judge's decision, I do think Cloud9 will win the fight unless Graviator can pull off something big here. Graviator probably needs to eliminate Cloud9 for it to win here. Oh! Massive hit by Graviator, but Cloud9 recovers. And this fight will end very even, as it will go to a judge's decision. Both bots had their highs in the fight, and I don't think this will be the hardest judge's decision, but I do need to think it over a little bit before I give a result. Alright, I've looked over the fight, and I've come to a decision. Decision is the winner, moving on to the round of 16, will be Cloud9. Cloud9 wins the fight by judge's decision. To me, it was more controlled, and it did more damage, so that alone won it the fight for me. Plus, the aggression between the two was fairly even. So, to me, Cloud9 picks up this fight pretty handily, and it will move on to the round of 16, where it will face the winner of the last match of the round of 32 coming up next. Cloud9 definitely an underdog going into the round of 16. I did say it was a bit favored in this fight, but it was still a pretty close fight, all things considered, and Cloud9 might be, even though it is, like I said, a bit of an underdog, might be one to look out for in this very open quadrant. But anyway, let's move on to the next fight. Here we are for our next match in Quadrant 4 and the last match of the round of 32. It is Baronal and it is Baguette Beatdown. Baronal, of course, is the overhead horizontal spinner, wedge slope design around all sides, very sleek, compact design. And on the other side is that's neither sleek nor compact, is Baguette Beatdown. It is a big, wide, horizontal spinner with a massive spinner in the middle. It looks like a giant baguette, hence the name. It's a sort of Mecha Rampage style spinner, 2-wheel drive. Of course, Baguette Beatdown has the stronger, bigger spinner, but it does often damage itself in exchanges. And Baronal being a slow, steady bot, let's see if Baguette Beatdown could take advantage of that, or Baronal will get the better of these exchanges, or we're going to have to see. There's only one match left in the round of 32, one spot left in the round of 16. And one of these bots will take it. So let's head into the arena to see who will be moving on to the round of 16. Will it be Barinol or will it be Baguette Beatdown? One of these horizontal spinners will be in the round of 16. The two bots charging in, Baguette Beatdown much faster, as I said, but Barinol getting the better for exchange, sending Baguette Beatdown to the air. Big hit in the wheel, Baguette Beatdown by Barinol. Like I said, Barinol slow and steady, going on Baguette Beatdown. It's Wedge doing massive favors for it right now, sending Baguette Beatdown to the air. That bread is very sad. Oh, but Baguette Beatdown getting a big hit on Barinol. That's the kind of exchanges Baguette Beatdown wants, but Barinol does self-right quickly. Okay, again, Barinol comes on the attack, both of them charging into each other. Oh, another good hit by Baguette Beatdown, sending Barinol into the air, but landing back on its wheels. This is a fairly even fight so far. Or at least in terms of exchanges, but in terms of damage, Barinol is by far leading. Barinol pushing Baguette Beatdown back into the screws. Getting some good hits on Baguette Beatdown. Oh, a massive combo by Barinol, the screws, and the arena wall, and that is it. With that flurry of hits, that was an amazing combo by Barinol right out. Sending Baguette Beatdown into the saws, into the wall, back into its own spinner, back into the saws, knocking it out right there and then. And that will move Barinol on to the round of 16. After that performance, Barinol might be one to look out for in this quadrant. It is a not much to look at, but it is an effective bot with its powerful horizontal spinner, its low profile. Might be one to look out for. But anyway, let's head back to the big bracket. And with that, our round of 32 concludes. 16 bots have moved on to the round of 16. And here they are. White Blow, Vortex, Champagne Supernova, Fishin' King, Death by Committee, Drunk Uncle 2, Double Time, Silver Fork Debilitator, Aeon Disc, Void Monster, Blizzard, Gearhead, Boost, Discord, Cloud9, and Barinol. These 16 bots next time will be competing to see who will take the championship, who will take the victory in the exhibition tournament. This episode exceeded my expectations. This might be my favorite episode, or my favorite episode I've recorded in terms of fights. In terms of technicality, there are some issues, but there were some really fun fights here. There were some big upsets: White Blow versus Palindrome, Gung Ho versus Death by Committee, and there were some just amazing fights just in general, like Double Time versus Symbol Rush, Aeon Disc Proto Digit, Bloodbath Void Monster, Furpeck Discord, Vortex Skyline, so many other great fights, great matches, great bots. So I'd like to thank everybody who has made bots that have competed. Y'all have made some incredible bots, and I've really been enjoying using them. So with that, the round of 32 episode will conclude. I'd like to thank all of you for watching this and all of you for waiting so long. I know nobody's really mentioned it since then, but I've been putting this off for way too long. I might as well, get on it now. And I think, I'm really happy I got on it now. This has been a lot of fun. These matches have been so great, and I can't wait to see what happens in the next episode, where we will be doing the round of 16 to the finale. By the end of the next episode, we will have a champion of this bracket, and I really can't wait to see who it is. I'm really excited to see, and I'm really excited to record, and I'm really excited to show you all the next episode when it comes out. But for now, that will be all. I hope you enjoyed the round of 32 episode of the exhibition tournament, and I really, really thank you for watching this, and I'll see you around.